If you're wanting to create content, maybe even you're wanting to create more content, but you find yourself in a time crunch. I don't I don't care how old you are. You may find yourself not having the time that you want to have to create content. Well, there is something you can do and it's called batching. Think of it as like making cookies. Nobody says, "Hey, I'm going to make a batch of cookies," and you get in there and there's one cookie, unless somebody ate them all. There's a whole bunch of cookies. And that's the point. You make the ingredients and you cook a batch of cookies. Batching video content can be the same way. You're creating a lot so then you can spread it out over time, and over time could be over the week, month, or whatever. So that's all it is. Hey there, Kevin Colby here. And the whole batching thing came up for me recently in a coaching call. The lady asked me if I batch my content. And the reality of it is, no, not really. Now, I do keep a running idea list of things that I'm just thinking about. They pop in my noggin, and I'll either use the voice thing in Apple Notes, which I did a whole video on that. If you want to see that, there's a link down below. Or, I'll type something out. So I do kind of batch ideas like that. Batching can be a good idea if it helps you get ahead. Typically, how most people batch content is they'll sit down and they'll carve out a big chunk of time and they'll shoot and produce as many videos as they can. And you can do that. There was one day I just got on a tear, and I think I did 4 videos, recorded 4 videos, and I'm going to tell you, I was whipped. Absolutely whipped by the end of the day. You may have a busy lifestyle. You may have a family. You may have other obligations. And you may not be a full-time content creator. You may just want to create content for whatever reason. So what I'm going to recommend to you is a way to break it up into different kinds of blocks to help you get things done. So if we look at just a video and kind of all the parts that it takes to produce most typical videos, we can break each one of these down. So with a video, you've kind of got the ideas, then you've got the writing, and writing can be bullet points, whatever, maybe some research in there. Then you have the recording of the video. Then you have the editing, maybe, if you want to edit it. Then you have other things like the thumbnail or any other assets you want to do with the video, like graphics and things. And then you actually have the uploading to YouTube, which can include everything from optimizing it to scheduling it to publishing it. So that's kind of the cycle of a video. So it may be overwhelming to try and do all of that at one sitting. So here's what I would recommend, and I think this will work based on what your schedule, your lifestyle is. So let's think in blocks of time. You can think of it as a day, a half a day, a few hours. So I'll say block 1. And I would start this with actually keep a running idea list. I would highly recommend that. I use Apple Notes for this, but I would highly recommend keeping an idea list. So you kind of like, it's your kind of cheat to start. But your first block, block 1, is going to be like set some time, and all you're going to do is write. Could be a half day, could be an hour before you go to work, could be your lunchtime. Kind of see where I'm going with this, right? Set some time and try and write at least 2 videos. And when I say write, maybe you've done some research, you do your bullet points. So there's your first block. Then find another block of time, and that will be your record time. Hey, I want to pop in here and tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Riverside. And since we're talking about batching, Riverside makes it easy to batch. I'm actually using Riverside to record today's video. So once you have your Riverside account, then you can record. In fact, you can see on my screen here all the many recordings I've done on there, including interviews I've done as well. Now, Riverside has all the tools in there you can do to edit, and if you don't really want to edit that much, but you kind of want the video edited a little, then you can use their AI editor tool, and it'll take everything out from ums and pauses, even look for redundancy things. It's a really cool tool. So if you're looking to batch videos, Riverside makes it easy, and all your videos are stored in the cloud, so you can go back to them at any point. You can export them, you can re-edit them, and even if you're doing shorts and things like that, they've got the tools to chop up your videos into vertical videos as well. Now, I've put a link down in the description so you can try Riverside for yourself. Make sure, though, if you want to save some money, use my code Kevin Colby, and you can save 15% off any paid plan of Riverside. Link down below. Thanks to Riverside for sponsoring this. Now, get to batching. Now, again, I'm using Riverside to record this, so it's easy for me just to turn my camera on because my setup is so simple. I can just be ready to record at any time at my desk. And right now I'm recording this into Riverside, so it just makes it easy. But set aside some time to record and record those 2 videos. And again, as you get more comfortable with this, that time may be shorter and shorter. And it may be you just want to riff on something, and that's cool as well. The next block of time will be the editing. So even if you look at this on days, day 1 would be dedicated to writing your video topic out, getting it to a point, setting it aside. Day 2, the second block of time, would be shooting it. Day 3 would be editing it. And especially if you're new to editing, I would keep the editing very, very simple. Tools like Riverside can do a lot of the editing for you, but you may decide just to literally trim the beginning and trim the end. Heck, if you wanted to go live to YouTube just to cut down on that you can do that as well. But the idea is, on this third time block, this third day, you're just going to focus on recording. The fourth block, that's when you're going to do maybe your thumbnails. And there's so many different ways of doing thumbnails. I actually have a course on how to kind of like the basics of YouTube thumbnails and things like that. I'll put a link down below. I think it's a good course, but it'll help you just kind of understand the dynamics of ways you can do it. But that can also be doing your thumbnails. It can be very simple. Yes, you can let YouTube choose your thumbnails. I don't know that you should do that, but if it helps you, that's fine. And then the fifth block of time is when you're uploading those videos. Now, you can see by now, if you're trying to batch a month or 2 of content and your content is very involved, and I get that some of you you have very intricate type videos, so you have to adapt this plan. But this one is when you upload those videos, because it might take a little time to upload it if you shot it in 4K or not, how long the video is. And there's a lot of different things you can do to help you save time. And I've done some videos about walking you through the entire upload process. I'll link to those down below. I would encourage you to watch them because it'll just help you, I think, as you're uploading your videos at any point in your career and in your YouTube journey. But as you publish, then you're adding whatever information you want in the description box or links or things like that and schedule it. So what we've just done in either time blocking over 5 days or however you bulk that time, we've broken up each aspect of a video into manageable batching contents. Now, again, this is just a way of doing it because I'm trying to be empathetic and sensitive to people that haven't been creating as long as I do, but they want to create more. So if that's you, try this system and find just something in there. Again, I wouldn't try and do a lot at once because I think it's easy to get overwhelmed and then you think, well, I just don't want to do this anymore. And I saw a study once that people end up giving up like after 7 or 12 videos. And YouTube isn't for everybody, but if you want to create content and use your gifts, especially with video, try this and see if it helps you, and you can always adapt it later. So I really hope this helps you create more and just start creating whatever you need to create. I'm Kevin. Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.